in the studio, and it's just like when the juices start flowing, the juices flow, and people just, I mean, what did I say now?
When the juices start flowing, the juices flow. Well
It's like she gave us drinks to drink, we drunk them.
Yeah.
That's some T-Pain level brilliant right there. Oh, look at me, lyricist of the year.
Nishazama ndani ya mapenzi umeniandalia mimi nitaku
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the 30% Podcast, episode 137. My name is Sam Are. I am joined by Afamefuna Onyebadi, and we are the co-hosts of this thing. We talk about the music industry on here, the Kenyan music industry. Very exciting. Well, sometimes the Kenyan music industry is exciting. But yeah, we talk about the Kenyan music industry, the serious things. We try to give some information and connect you with people who you need to listen to, who have the knowledge and the experiences that you need. I guess. I don't know. And yeah, that's that. Please tune in, share this with people who you think would benefit, and engage with us. We'd love to hear what you think. That is it for the beginning. What's up? I'm terrible at that. I'm not very good.
That is it for the beginning.
Yeah. I'm terrible at that. It's fine though. I'm getting better. Maybe in episode 500 I'll be a pro at the intro.
And we will get to episode 500, guys. We will.
That's
we'll get
in
there
2037.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man, I've been good. I've been chilling. Bro, it's been so hot in New
Heat
York,
wave.
man.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
that records were broken again. Every year, records keep getting broken.
No. Some people were hospitalized for heat stroke. Like, I think there was a power outage in some places, which I find funny because, like, in America, having a power outage is like big news. It's like, oh my God, there was a power outage. Anyway, there was a power outage in some places.
It's just kawaida.
Yeah.
It's a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah. There's a power outage in some places because everybody had their, like, ACs on. And I think the electrical load was too much. So, yeah, man, people were outside just like opening all the fire hydrants, just like trying to cool themselves off. I think it got to a high of like 37. Might have even reached 38 at some point. Bro, Sam, horrible. And that's my problem with America. The weather it's always an extreme. It's either really cold and gloomy and trash, or it's hot. Just hot. And yeah, bro, I'm telling you, Nairobi just has at least Nairobi weather-wise is a little bit more like even keel. Like it's just not.
It's cold in Nairobi.
It doesn't
though.
get too extreme.
Yeah, it was really cold now, and I hate it so much.
Bro,
it's terrible.
Bro,
it's freezing.
What we call cold is not cold. Just let me just say that right now. It's not cold.
I hate the cold.
The worst it gets in Kenya is gonna be like. It's gonna be like.
I think there was a 17, 16 at some point.
That's spring. No, the worst it gets is like 13 degrees, like maybe like in the morning, or whatever.
Yeah,
and that's nothing. That's nothing, bro. A 13 degrees day over here is like spring. Like people are like, woo, let's rejoice. Anyway, the weather has been trash and has just not been my friend. Like honestly. It's been disgusting. But aside from that, I have been watching streams. I've been watching
course.
streams back on the stream grind because Santi started streaming again finally. I don't even know how much people care about like my experience watching this stream, but it's just so interesting to me because like I'm a music industry nerd, and sometimes just feeling close to some of these music industry things is interesting. And everybody seems to be out in Paris at the moment. Because I think on the 21st there was the Fête de la Musique. French people, I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. And everybody seems to be in France. Like, I mean, even Bien was out there. Rema is out there. Santi and all everybody who's Alte seems to be out there. Dunsi. So Sam, I'm telling you, I know, like, bro, I know. I at this point, I know all of Santi's friends. Like, I know everything. Like, you can give me a quiz on Santi, and I will tell you. But anyway, for those who don't know Santi, and I've explained this before, but like Santi is a really popular.
Do you think artists
from Nigeria?
Do you think artists want their fans to know those aspects of their lives? Like, as an artist, would you want someone to know who your friends are? Like, who your real friends are? I feel like
clearly Santi wants that because he's definitely streaming his everyday life.
Mm-hmm. The label,
but some artists are more personal. But some artists are more personal. It's a people thing. I don't even think it's an artist thing. It just depends on what you like. For me personally, I would like to be more private. But like other people, you don't mind if everybody knows like everything that's happening in your life. The reason I find these streams interesting is just because of how close knit like the Nigerian music community appears to be, right? And also just the fact that the diaspora, like they're everywhere, like they're all like. It just feels like mini Nigeria when I'm watching those streams, and they're all the way in Paris, but like they're always just bumping into other Nigerian artists. Oh my God, it's Jalil. The other day, they bumped into P Prime, who's a very, very big producer from Nigeria. The other day, they bumped into London at a club. I think he's been hinting that they're gonna do a stream with Rema soon, which I will be locked in for. It's just interesting, man. Sam, please just dedicate some of your time to watching these streams. Be like me a little bit, please. I don't want to feel like I'm crazy and I'm the only. Yeah, I don't want to feel like. I feel like I'm the only one on this ledge.
You might be the only one. You might be the only one who's quickly responding to the Santi emails, Subaru World emails, quickly responding, jumping to the notifications.
Bro,
you have your notifications on for Santi.
Yeah. Once I see those, bro, it fills me with immense joy, man. I'm just like, yes,
immense joy.
But yeah. But it's true, man. It does.
Santi brings you immense joy. That's crazy.
But it's interesting. I'm telling you, it's interesting stuff. And then they're out there with another guy called Len, who's like a big, big underground artist in the UK.
But that's your scene, though.
Nigerian.
That's your scene. That's the kind of music you vibe with.
Yeah. I think I really resonate with like that scene.
Yeah.
But it's so cool to see them doing big things. Like the other day they had like a whole hosting party like in Paris, and they filled up like a whole bus full of like people, like a party bus. And but it's just so cool and then oh my God, something crazy happened where like the Parisian people started like throwing things at them, like white people, because of racism. Very crazy. But anyway, it's just so
How do you
cool
still have
to
racism
see
in
that.
2025? That's so stupid.
I know, it's crazy.
It's so ignorant. But anyway.
For me, the thing is always like, man, I wish Kenyan, like the Kenyan scene was like, so like we were outside, we were out there like just doing things and like being able to throw parties and events like these like even more, in a foreign country, and it still feel like something worthwhile, and you're not just performing. I don't know. Anyway, sorry.
More names, and I was going to say, and more names as well, not just the popular names that we've seen over and over again. No shade to them, of course, because they're definitely setting the way for the rest of us. But then, I rather the rest of the other artists. But yeah, we need to see, like, it needs to be a little bit more buzzing, more popping out there with Kenyan artists. Like,
Yeah.
we need to see. That's good though. We'll get there someday.
Anyway, Sam,
one
what
day.
have you been up to?
Yeah, I mean, last week I talked about the camp. So this week was just at the camp creating. Oh man, it's been a really, really interesting experience. Not necessarily because of, I think, like, production camps are production camps. Like, people have, what that offers. But I think for me, it's been like really eye-opening in terms of just some of the things I've thought about music and collaborating, and how I feel like in my brain that's supposed to go. But being on the ground and being outside, which is apparently is really important for a producer. Who would have known? A lot of those things are, like, I'm thinking about
Doing
them
it IRL slaps differently.
Yeah, just finish plugging the album. It's okay. Just finish.
No.
Yeah, a couple of months ago you released. Just do the whole thing.
No. I'm just saying, doing it in real life is different than in your head.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying, man.
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah.
guys.
Yeah. Okay. Hey guys, if you don't know, Afam has an our project out called in real life.
No, guys, please, guy.
All right,
That's
all
what
right,
they
all right,
always
all
be
right.
saying in the
Why are you being
Nigerian
ashamed
streams.
to
They always
plug
be
your own?
saying guy.
You see, and this is what stops
sorry.
people from winning Grammys. Why are you being ashamed to plug your own project on your own platform again for the 100th
Because
time?
I genuinely was just saying you were doing it IRL. I wasn't plugging my project.
I'm so sorry. Well, I'm plugging it for you. Anyway, yeah. So it's been a very cool experience. I mean, some of those guys are super talented in the studio, and it's just like when the juices start flowing, the juices flow, and people just, I mean, what did I say now?
When the juices start flowing, the juices flow. Well said,
It's like
Sam.
she gave us drinks to
Well
drink. We
said.
drunk them.
Yeah. That's exactly.
That's some T-Pain level brilliant right there. Oh, look at me, lyricist of the year. But no, yeah. So like, what I'm just saying, like, once people get into their creative zones, like just feeding off each other, like, it's super cool and just cool to see and cool to be part of. So I've really realized a lot of those things. Definitely interested in collaborating a lot more. I don't know whether, not to say I wasn't interested in collaborating before, but then when you're a bedroom producer, I think you just develop a solo, and you might be able to attest to this. You develop a solo mentality about producing. You just sit there by yourself and self-sufficient.
Making all the, just comfortable in making all the, like, just doing all the music by yourself, and all the ideas come from you and stuff like that. But like the collaborative aspect of things just brings a whole different like dimension.
It does. And it also helps you, like, in terms of technicality, because here I am, I'm making beats on FL, and this guy just, yo, come and add for me a bass on here, then I jump and it's Ableton. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? So you just learn to dance between all those different things, the technical and the creative things. So it's been really cool. And then there was...
Didn't you guys have an event or something?
Yeah. So the I guess one of the main showcases that we have as the Safari Oontz collective was the Rituals show, which happened on Saturday, if I'm not wrong. What day are we in? Today's Sunday. Saturday. Which happened on Saturday.
Would have been Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, it happened on Saturday. And it was in Gara, and yeah, so partnered with Jägermeister, which is actually
how is that? So, wait, sorry to interrupt, but how is that Ngara like whole experience? Because they've been trying to like make Ngara like a creative hub thing with the Jägermeister events. Like having been there, because imagine I'm the only person, and I'm always the last person who to experience these things. How
Late
is
to the
it
party.
like
Yeah.
having Oh, okay. So that's what we're doing, Sam. That's what we're doing.
It's a plug for a plug.
Plug for plug. Man.
Plug for plug.
I see how you're moving.
So,
But anyway, like how was the experience?
I mean, it's cool. It's got. I wouldn't say it is that yet, but again, I'm not the right person to say because I am out once every year. When I got there, though, the place, like, I got there around, I want to say 9, 8. No, who was? Because when I got there around 8. So, because Brains and Papa was up there. So there was quite a bit going on. It's like those two lanes in town, like in the night, where it's just music coming out from every single door.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like they're trying to, with the Sarakasi Dome and everything, that they might be trying to make that a hub. I do feel like it might need to get a little bit more popping than it was. If Saturday night was what was like their CV, yeah, they might need to throw a couple more. Again, I'm not the right person to say that because I'm not outside a lot. But yeah, so that was cool. I didn't want to go super early because I didn't think that it was going to start on time. Sue me. I have African timing trauma, but I got there around 8 p.m. It was super cool. And obviously at 8 p.m. everyone is still in their house, throwing their feet on their bed and drinking smoothies and taking get ready with me's. So the floor was kind of empty. But Brains and Papa were up there. They were playing. So the way it is most of the people in that collective are DJs, if not all of them, apart from me. I happen to be probably the only one who doesn't DJ, which is another thing I learned. Like after I was just sitting there watching people. I mean, I'll get into that later, but then I need to go get myself a pair of decks. But yeah, so they are mostly DJs. So it was really just a showcase of a bunch of the DJs that and the music that they play and sort of what they bring to the table in that sense. So there were time slots for them. Brains, Papa was up there. Kamushes and Iborian came up next. Hiribai up next. Really enjoyed his set. Tina Dor, MGM, were there. They got on around like 11, 12 actually, because Hiribai's set sort of leaked into 12. That's when I was like, might be time to go get some Z's.
Purchase. Sorry. I thought you were going to say it might be time to get some decks. Carry on.
No, but that too. And then, but I really did miss those. I wanted to stay, but I couldn't. And then Mura and Big Nyags were up there again. I wanted to be there for the set. And then One Down was up there. Then Mike Moema rounded up the set. Rather, on paper, he was rounding up the set. And then Lindstrom, McLean and Ali Fresh, their set was full of energy. I was there for that. And then Eric K, Mescadi, Double D, and Chef K also had their sets in another room. So it was like split into two, and sets were going on in different rooms. So that was cool. Sets were
What would
going
you
on
say your favorite set was?
So not being out, I haven't listened to a lot of DJs play like that. So it was a new experience for me. And of course, as you probably guess, I was sitting there being a scientist instead of actually like enjoying music. Bro, if you play a time lapse, you'll just see me sitting in the same spot, just rotating around. Maybe occasionally stand up to go outside and see what the energy is like. Very scientist of me. And then come back in and just sit in the same spot. I was just really studying it. But I did enjoy, I enjoyed, let me not lie, I enjoyed Brains' set. I enjoyed Kamusha's and Iborian set because that was more like tech house. It was cool. And then I would say maybe if I was to choose one, I would say Hiribai's set and McLean and Ali Fresh's set. Hiribai's set because I think that was around maybe 10:30. That's 10:30, 10:45. That's when people started really flocking in. You know, that's when the night was really starting. So a lot of people were responding to his set. And it was a vibe. It was a vibe. So shout out to him. And then also McLean and Ali Fresh, they were just up there, man. The energy that these guys were bringing was crazy. And I know everyone else, because this was a good opportunity to show. So I didn't watch the other sets. I wish I did. Maybe later I'll stay out a little bit later. But that was super dope. Man, I sat there and I feel like I learned a lot, bro. One thing I think I realized that you can know how to do the things, like you can know how to transition from one song to another, and you can know how to do the effects, the low pass, high pass, and cut it out and then cut the music, mute everything, and then bring it back. You can know how to do all that stuff. But DJing is all about, one, it's about timing, and then it's just about how the things you choose in sequence, like your sequence of events usually add up to, like, if you just, how the drop responds to you and how people respond to the drop is going to be different every time because of your lead in. Like you do different things. You throw a phaser on it, throw a high pass,
sure.
mute it. It's very different.
Sure.
And that's what makes DJs good is they know how to read what to do from the crowd.
Exactly. It's all about like assessing the energy you're also getting. Because I was watching like on the stream, these guys, they went out to an event, and then Lens DJ is called Vivendi. Well, I don't know if it's Lens DJ, but Vivendi Sounds was DJing in this club called Vim. Bro, I feel like I know Paris so well now. Anyway, and I was just observing like the decisions he was making, like as he was DJing in the club. And I was like, sometimes you can see the club is just not feeling the song. And sometimes he'd do something where he'd just like completely go to a whole different vibe, like not necessarily even worried too much about the transitions, but still it would get like really good reception. So it's like he's always just trying to gauge, okay, where this club is at in terms of what vibe they wanna like indulge in. But what you said is really true. Like it's all about like sometimes if like you just like completely pair like two songs that have a similar vibe, and then you just leave like the first song, you leave the kicks, and then you also just bring like something unexpected that just blends in so well, but it's still a banger. I don't know. It's just like
it's great.
Yeah,
it's great.
Seeing that stuff. It's a real skill. It's a real art form.
Oh no, yeah, it is. It's not just virtual DJ, honestly, and it's also as a producer, I think it's also good place to test your music, which I saw a lot, especially some of the stuff that we've been playing during the week and making during the week, like to test them out on the crowd and see whether they're vibing. All in all, man, it's a really, really talented group of guys and girls. And shout out to Soul Generation, publishing, Soul Generation, Aduma and Jägermeister and everyone who put it together, man. Hustle Sasa. Got some merch. So that was super dope. When the camp continues, I guess just to wrap that up, the camp continues.
I hope you got two sets. I hope you got two sets of merch. Nope. One for me when I come home. That's actually really, really, really selfish and self-centered of you, Sam. I can't believe it.
Why did you throw in your reality TV voice? Situation. Why did you throw in your Keeping Up with the Kardashians voice?
Oh, don't even remind me. Oh, by the yes, Love Island. I've still been watching Love Island.
Yo, no, we're not doing a Love Island update. But yeah, no, it's super cool. The camp continues, man. So just excited to keep creating and see what we come out. Album is going to be amazing. I was gonna say, let me tell you, it's going to be fire.
I can't wait to hear the album. Maybe you can play us an exclusive here, like when the time comes.
Yeah,
who knows?
I don't think we'll mind, honestly, because we're trying to get the word out on what we're doing. So
let's do it, man.
So for sure.
So I was gonna say, speaking on Soul Gen related stuff. Like I was saying, everyone is out in Paris right now. Is out in France. Everyone who's everyone in the Afro, actually just in music, is out there. Also, Beyonce was performing, and Yay. So. Can you say that with a little bit more excitement?
Nah,
Sam, I can't defend you from the beehive. Let me tell you, Sam. No. Hold on, Sam. I've been telling you this multiple times. The beehive they will find our podcast and they will find our personal profiles and they will make our lives a living hell. Sam, I would really, really advise you to put a little bit more oomph and a little bit more enthusiasm in your voice when people talk about Beyonce. I'm just saying. Listen, I wash my hands from that situation.
I wash my
Beyonce,
hands.
I love you. I don't know about Sam.
No. We're not doing that. We're not doing the Beyonce I love you. No, we're not. You don't love Beyonce.
No. Yo, listen, everybody loves Beyonce, man. Who doesn't? Sam. Anyway, so like I was saying, everyone is out there in France right now, including Kinasanti and everything. It must be so exciting because it's like, if you know everyone is out there, you could just randomly bump into like someone. Anyway, and recently we saw pictures and video of Bien in studio with Rema, Divine, Mr. Divine. And I mean, they're in studio, they're having conversation. Always sparks like, I mean, Bien is an artist, put two and two together, you come up with, hey, they must be working on new music. I didn't mean
people
to,
don't
I didn't
know
mean
that
to
that's,
chuckle there.
that's not how it happens. Just because see two people together, like that could be, yo, can I get a photo? Can I get a flick?
No, but
Quickly.
sometimes that's how it happens though. Sometimes that's how it happens. Sometimes it just be super spontaneous. So who knows? I don't know what happened in this encounter, but hey, a lot of people are speculating that there might be something coming. And
How many collabs does
speculation-
BN have with everyone?
Uh-huh.
Like there's been a BN collab coming with so many people at this point. Like
Your BN, I'm not gonna
that
lie,
album is
BN
about to be
has been-
fire.
He's been giving out collabs like, bro,
man.
I don't know, man. They've just been dishing those collabs out. Like, she even had a release this week with Matthew someone. So listen, well, he's putting in the work. Bien is putting in the work, and I like the optics of it all. The optics look great because he was also pictured with good company, I would say. He was chilling with Davido, Diamond Platinums,
Okay.
Adekunle Gold,
Yeah.
Stone Boy,
Who-
and Cubana
Where's Stone Boy
Chief in Paris. I don't know, but I know he's West
Ghana?
African. I don't know exactly
it's
where
Ghana.
he's from.
I think it's Ghana.
I think so. I think he's Ghanaian. I actually do think I have a feeling he's Ghanaian. But anyway, like
Some
just
research.
seeing all this, it's good. It's good. It's good PR because those are the people you want to be seen with. Like those are the Africans who are thriving within the music industry, and it just goes to show that. And also, this is all part of the rollout for Alusa Continua. Because all these optics being seen with the right people, you're in Paris, you're doing this, you're doing interviews at Breakfast Club, you're doing shows and stuff like that. It always creates this sense of hype and also sense of belonging. Like, yo, I'm an international star. Like, that's how I want to be regarded.
Yeah.
So in many ways, I do think there's gonna be a lot of anticipation for what this new album is gonna do for BN because they've really put a lot of effort and I would say a lot of money, like because it takes a lot of money to like move out here and everything to market this guy who seems to be the leading emblem of Kenyan music. Now, one person who also has thoughts about BN's escapades
Wait,
in the international scene.
Sorry, before you go on, sorry. Just one thing I'm thinking about right now is sometimes when you're just living your life as an artist, you get to save money on rollout because it might not necessarily be that I'm going for the music festival in France as a rollout, but then if you're really dialed into your career and making like really good choices, a lot of things just compound together. So then it just seems like it adds more anticipation to whatever you're trying to do, which is just something important. I think that artists could learn.
No, it
Yeah.
is no. It is part of the rollout.
It could be, yeah. I mean, I'm not disputing that. Like that's fire. But I'm just saying that as an artist, like, you know how sometimes artists just pop out for like just seeing going to the shop, and then all of a sudden, oh, he's wearing green Crocs. Oh, what does that mean? Then it just builds anticipation as an artist. So it's all about the decisions you make. But anyway, that's just a side point.
Okay, so here's my no. But my question is, do you think BN is just living his life, or do you think there's an element of wanting to be seen publicly doing this stuff internationally?
I think at this point, most of the things he's doing is intentional. I think that there might be some percentage of it that's he's not necessarily specifically rolling out the music, but he's doing things to bolster his career and just get himself out there. So but everything at this point is and should compound into just like a forward momentum in terms of whatever it is that he has planned, the shows and the music. So and I definitely feel like he's in the rollout part of his career where everything is a rollout.
But and I think in general Kenya seems to be in a, and I don't know how I would put this, but we are in a getting Kenyan music internationally recognized era. I know that's so many words to say era at the end, but you get what I mean.
And you didn't put no vowels, so we can't even abbreviate it. Getting Kenya.
Yeah, we can't even.
Good job, man. Good job.
No, but it's true. It's true. Anyway, one person who has thoughts on BN's escapades in the international scene is John Mushiri, who we've
Shout out, John.
We've read a few of his excerpts on this podcast, and popular journalist now based in the UK, and from time to time he'll give his thoughts on the music industry. And just let people kind of debate in the comments. And he was just talking about BN being out there internationally and the fact that BN is actively. So the thing about John Mushiri is he likes to be very divisive in the way he writes his articles, and kind of mentions or is hinting at BN actively shifting the conversation from Sauti Sol to BN. Now, do I think BN is doing this? No, but hold your horses.
Wait. I think he is, though. I would say he is.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think so?
I think he's.
You think BN is actively, intentionally shifting the focus from Sauti Sol to himself?
In the context of BN's career, yes, definitely. Like he's doing more to push himself and
but he's not like trying to make people forget about Sauti Sol.
Yeah.
Is he? I don't understand. Tell us.
He might be trying to make people forget about Sauti Sol while as he is concerned. It's still Sauti Sol, right? But he wants to remove BN from Sauti Sol, not removing BN's legacy from Sauti Sol or the legacy of Sauti Sol itself, right?
So essentially, it's how it's how Beyonce kind of separated herself from Destiny's Child and became Beyonce.
Yeah, I guess. Or Justin Timberlake and NSYNC.
Add enthusiasm to your voice, Sam, please.
Throw some respect on Beyonce's name.
Yeah.
Oh no, she has enough respect. But I think because it only serves to better his career. That again, that's not taking away from the legacy of what he and Sauti Sol have done and still continue to do. But it's just better for him to have a solo reputation for to have a solo reputation. So, which he's trying to do, I guess.
John Mushiri agrees with you because he says BN is getting very, very close to being regarded as an international star. He is making the right moves, which I do agree with him, because BN and these optics are really positioning himself that way. And then he also says he's pushing himself, spending money, doing collabs, etc. And then the thing about Jamshiri that makes me laugh is out of nowhere, he always throws strays at people. So he's like, Boutros did an album full of international collabos.
Yeah.
But what did he do after that?
Doesn't need
he
no
just relaxed and waited for the stars to push him. Big joke.
That's crazy.
I don't know, man.
You're just sitting around. Why is Boutros catching strays? This might be good, though. This might be good because if your name is mentioned, then that means that you're close to doing something right. You could look at it that way. So the strays you're catching are indicative strays.
What would you have Boutros do? What would you have Boutros do? Or is it a case like where you remember how we had that whole conversation months ago about Wakadinali being invited to Nigeria, but just not being comfortable with the whole situation? Do you think Kenyan artists should be more open to like just going international? But it takes a lot of money. You think it's cheap for Bien to just be out here in New York one day and then he's out there in Paris the other day? You think it's easy?
It's not easy, but having a successful musical career is not easy. It's one of the hardest things in the world. I was having a conversation with one of the guys from Soul Generation Publishing, and I was talking about just this exact topic of what not just butchers, but then what do you do as an artist like to further it? I feel like one thing Kenyan artists need to stop doing is the moment they get one hit, they let their foot off the gas, and all of a sudden now they've made it and they're I'm an artist now. Look at me, I'm doing the thing. I'm being invited for shows off this one song, and you let your foot off the gas and you don't know how quickly that grows cold. People need to realize that the moment that you get like that one hit, which I would say Butchos did with Angela.
Butchos, but he's no. Butchos has been releasing a lot of music, especially like collaborations. Maybe not his own singles, but he's been out here like releasing a lot of music.
Yeah, but you're supposed at that point you need to use that to engineer more of those. You know, you need to use what that hit has done to engineer more of those. And that's when you start being strategic. Like the door has just opened. Your foot, you need to now just get into that room and actually start. I feel like a lot of artists just, they get a hit and whatever the success it does, like that's some gratification for them. Or they are not able to figure out what to do proper. Because I don't want to make it seem like all of them just do that and they get a hit and then they just sit back and they're like they've made it, but maybe they've not figured out how to make it translate, and that might also be a music industry problem rather than an artist problem, and just like the resources and the money and all of that.
No. But bro. But like, if you're an artist, you don't have. Do you think you have the power to know or have the ability to make a hit once you already have a hit?
I mean, the hit is not for the artists to make. The hit is the hit is the crowds, the fans, the listeners to make. The listeners make the hit, not the artist. Yeah, I mean, because
it's twofold. It's twofold. The artist also makes the hit. The artist. Well, first of all, yes, the artist makes the hit because they make the song, but their team and whatever also engage in the marketing appropriate that to like and make it like seem like it's big, and then that's what catches
that would
on.
Be but that would be nothing if the people don't gravitate towards it. However, they do. So there's an artist.
I mean, but we do know there's
but an example of it would be like you've seen artists make a hit, like a song. The formula is great and it does well. And then the label falls into that trap of, oh snap, let's do it again. And then they try and promote it the same way, pump even more money into it, like, and it's the same song, and it does not catch on at all. That's because the people didn't want that to be a hit. They're like, you know what, we've had our hit before, and we're not.
So what are you saying? So what are you saying about Butchos and his music then? Are you saying it's just not resonating?
No, I'm saying that maybe there's. I'm going to cover plea. I think. I would say for this specific situation, maybe there are decisions that could have been made to exponentially multiply his reach. Probably were not made as. And the momentum, you know what it is? I think it's momentum. I think the momentum wasn't kept up. Which is what you need to do as an artist instead of taking your foot off the gas. There's so many examples. I don't want to call them out because it's going to sound like I'm hating. But No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I personally think Butchos has gone through this before, because Yeah was a hit. Yes, it wasn't as big a hit as Angela, but Yeah was a hit locally, right? And then shit was cold for Butchos I don't know if you remember, but it was actually really cold, like after the heights reached. And then they actually did what you said a lot of people do. They tried to re-engineer, like, And then I remember he released a song called, I think it was called Whoa, 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 or something, or Whoa, Whoa, or something like that, right? Produced by Cap as well. So, like, they tried to put all the elements that made a hit together. In my opinion, I really like Whoa, Whoa, Whoa. For me, I like that. I love that song, but like it just didn't gain traction. But after that, out of nowhere, and I believe it was a few months after they did that Whoa song, bro, Angela pops up. Yeah. So I don't.
You might need to try a couple of things too before you get that momentum going. Like you might need to try a couple of different things and see. Really what gravitates.
My argument is I think Buchos has experienced what he's experiencing now. So I think and they've come out of it with a massive hit that was even bigger than the one that they had before. So I think they have experience in terms of handling this lull, I guess, in his career. But
anyway, sorry, were you done reading?
I don't know, but I don't know if he deserves this stray. This stray is kind of crazy, man.
No, we know what the stray is. The stray is for engagement. So it's engagement farming, honestly.
So he also gives strays to Willie Paul because he's like, oh, Willie Paul will never go anywhere beyond Katani Road.
Willie Paul must be the artist in Kenya who catches the most strays.
I don't know
why man? Why are you all hitting on Willie Paul, bro?
Bro, he's an easy target. It's because Willie Paul reacts to like the annoying thing about people is once people realize that what they're saying to you is getting to you, they'll just do it more just to elicit like reactions from you. So it's so hard. Like as a celebrity artist, like you can't let what people say kind of get to you because once they sniff that what they said actually, they're just going to do it even more.
Sharks in a pool of blood. But also it sucks because now as an artist, like, are you just going to sit down and just like let people say whatever? Like sometimes you have to like be sassy a bit and fire back. It's a weird. I hate it, man. I hate what artists have to be in front of the media. I hate it. But
Sam,
so
you have to let your greatness speak on your behalf.
What if you're not great? Some artists are not great and they're getting fired.
Wait, no, you can't say that, man.
No, it's true. Some artists are just bang average artists.
Okay,
like,
but have you realized, Sam, have you realized the artists who do a lot of talking and a lot of yapping on social media are the ones who are not as talented? The ones who are really talented just let the music do their talking.
Yeah, because the label is like
my last. You did like my last single? Bet. Let me just release this one thing. It's gonna be a hit. You guys will love me again, and everything will be fine.
No, the labels are sitting in this room like they know the music is not that great. So it's like you have to do more to generate the buzz. You have to do more. Like go out there and say some crazy stuff. We'll pay an NGC.
Nah, don't be like Doja Cat who dissed the guy who gave her his brand. Have you seen that whole like
what? No,
story?
What's that?
Oh, bro. Oh, we would spend another hour dissecting that whole
situation. Well, the fans aren't going anywhere. So Wednesday morning or whenever they're listening to this, they have time.
So essentially some fan walks up to Doja Cat and is super excited to meet her, and then she's like, oh, I love the vest you're wearing. He's like, this is my brand, whatever. She's like, oh my, you didn't bring one for me. And he's like, no, unfortunately I didn't. And then she's like, but I would have liked one. And then because he didn't have anything to give her, he took the shirt off of his own back.
All right, he took
it off
mistake number one. That's kind of crazy.
Gave it to her. No, that's well, I understand where he's coming from because, like, you know, if you're trying to, like, you're out here, like, remember how you said life is about taking opportunities. You meet somebody, you only have one shot. Like, this whole brand might be the thing that catapults him to having a big brand and not being prepared with like because he didn't know he was going to bump into. Yeah, he didn't know he was going to meet the Doja Cat.
Oh, that was right? The t-shirt. So the t-shirt was part of his merch. Like it was like
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
okay.
So
I
and
thought
she
it was
said
just
she
I thought it
wanted
was just
one.
pulling off his t-shirt and just like, hey, Doja Cat, you can have my sweaty.
No, I'm
my
going to
sweaty
take it
tee.
and give it to you. So essentially, he did that, and and then he hugged her and stuff like that. And Doja Cat seemed like she was okay with the whole interaction, but then she posted and deleted. Post and deletes are the best things, by the way, about
Oh
social
yeah,
media.
they make the
I
world
love
go
it.
round. Yep.
Anyway, they make the world go round, man. Or maybe we are just messy. But. So essentially, she said some slick shit about like him being musty and not
See,
and throwing the shot
no, I'm on bro's
afterwards.
side. That's disgusting from Doja Cat. That's terrible behavior.
Yeah,
Why would you take it then?
It wasn't. I know a lot of people felt like
And
for me
people need to
personally,
stop
though,
pretending. Sorry, people need to stop pretending. Don't be nice in the moment, then go behind and be.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. You have to look at things from the lens of like women, cause there's a lot of times when women are in situations where they're uncomfortable, but they have to exude like a aura of comfortability just to keep themselves
Wait.
safe, and then afterwards.
But doesn't she have a team around her? Or is she just walking alone by herself, running
I don't know.
to where? Like,
But I'm just
Drake
saying.
was.
I'm just saying. I would understand. There's a lot of times when girls will pretend to be okay with something that's happening just so that they can get home, and
I
then once
get-
they're home,
that's-
of course, all their
that's-
real feelings will.
that's why you have a
So I
team.
understand that. But so me, my problem with that whole situation isn't even that Doja didn't like the interaction, because she's okay. For me, in my perspective, Doja is okay to like not have enjoyed that interaction, but speaking on it on social media is
Yeah.
so lame
That's
and so
terrible.
dumb.
That's terrible for him.
And in the fashion that she did it, it's
Yeah.
really bad. No, well, for the guy, is doing well because he's like everyone is on his side, and now he's been promoting.
no,
his
but not
brand
all,
heavy.
not all good, not all publicity is good publicity. Even though we say the opposite a lot, like all
No,
publicity
this
is
what-
good
no, but
publicity.
this is working for him
Because
It's
if
working for him.
if Doja's fan base is very influential, then they might hinder him getting sales somehow. Like that's a thing that happens.
Nah. Most people are on his side. I think he's going to thrive. Genuinely,
Oh, we hope
and,
so.
and Doja Cat's fan base is not the Beehive or the Barbs. Like those are the two fan bases who can do what you're saying. Like if you talk about fan bases that can actually stifle your life, it's the Barbs and the Beehive.
It's ridiculous.
Aside from that, I think there's no other fan base to be scared of. Those are the two to be scared of. Honestly speaking, those people have. Well, I will only speak positively. I was about to say something crazy, but like, shout out to that fan base.
Look.
Anyway, I've even forgotten what I was going to say. But the point of this whole conversation is like John Mushiri is kind of pointing out that there's a lot of artists in Kenya who don't seem to have as much ambition as BN does.
Facts. Not just only BN. A
and
couple of other people, they're just not getting the
maybe-
shine. But then, yeah.
Maybe that's true. But it does take a lot of investment. But I feel like this conversation can get really deep because like not everybody can afford to do the things that BN is doing. You know what I mean? Like it's tough, but maybe starting small. I see artists like Joshua Baraka like really take time to try and integrate themselves into the Kenyan industry. I think we need more like you start small. Fine, maybe I can't fly to Paris and hang out with all these guys. Maybe I'll go to Uganda.
I can Photoshop
maybe I'll go
myself
to
in some of those
Tanzania.
photos.
And maybe you start like that. You just do things that are regionally more accessible, and then from there you expand. So, do I agree with John Mushiri? A little bit. I think he might be a little bit harsh and funny in his delivery, but listen, let's celebrate this moment for BN and not put down Boutros and Willie Paul and Calligraph.
Do you think I was having a conversation with somebody, right? And actually with Abigail Diana, shout out to her. And we're just talking about some of the older artists some of the artists that have been around. I don't say older because that comes off negative. Some of the artists that have been around for a while. And again, Bien's name came up, but then in the context of he sort of remains a little bit consistent with music. But then there's artists who are showing up now and trying to release music, but they have it's not connecting. It's not connecting. So one, I wanted to find out why you think it's not connecting, but then I also wanted to just like give my theory as to why it's not connecting. I guess you could go first, then I'll give my theory.
But like which artists? Which artists? Are
So
releasing
many
music
of them
that's
are
not
coming out of the
connecting?
woodworks. There are just a lot. It's a lot. You know the older the 2010s and the 2000s and 2010s. I'm talking about Kenyan acts.
Sorry.
Kenyan
Okay.
acts.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about like the older Kenyan acts who've started releasing music
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, who
like
are
again.
yeah coming.
Oh, but it's not connecting. Oh, the quality is trash, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. There's some artists who be, and I'm sorry.
It's still
it sucks to
2000s
speak
quality.
about some of our legends. Yeah, I'm sorry to speak about some of our legends like that. So I wouldn't name names, but I have seen some releases where like, oh, this legendary artist released music, but then it's so bad, and not even like quality in terms of like even the content, even the way it's recorded. I'm like, bro, there's no way
older
you're a
techniques.
legacy
Yeah.
act.
Yeah.
You're a legacy act and your music. No, but I'm not even gonna blame it on older techniques, Sam, because there are some older songs in the Kenyan industry that sound amazing mix wise. Some of these things that are being released today, just like by some of these legacy acts, legacy in quotes, because I don't know if Kenya
hate.
has legacy
That's
acts.
hate,
Anyway,
that's hate.
that's
You can't do
another.
that. That's hate.
No. That's no. Listen, I have to explain why I say that, because Kenya has, to be a legacy act, like you have to have that like I feel like Kenya doesn't have the correct environment to even have legacy acts in the first place, because we don't even value our
Say
older
more-
artists like that.
Say more about that. That's
You know what I
interesting.
mean? Our acts who are older don't thrive the way they deserve to thrive. We only
Okay.
really respect them because of what they did.
Are you talking
But that
music industry
respect, that-
thriving versus culturally thriving? Because they thrive culturally.
I'm talking about just thrive. Okay, they thrive culturally, but being a legacy act is like, bro, you're out here, like everyone is respecting you for your musical contributions, and then everybody wants to have you doing legacy tours.
Yeah.
So you're actually making money off of your old music. I don't know how much the older Kenyan artists still make money off of that old music. I'm sure some of them, like in a Nameless and stuff, get like
Especially because a
corporate
lot
gigs
of
here
them,
and there, but like,
there were not good contracts back in the day, if any contracts were there at all.
so exactly. And so I'm not saying that Kenya doesn't have any legacy acts at it to be mean, like, oh, our older acts weren't fire. I'm just saying we don't even put our older acts in that position for them to be determined or be defined as legacy acts.
Yeah.
Anyway, that being said, let me just say our older acts just also need to like release better music. Let's just say that, because some of the shit will be released.
And-
There's even music. Oh, no, I was gonna say something that's too close to home, but like, yeah.
No, but I'll save you. Even though I want you to say what you need to say. Don't mute yourself on your platform, Afam. You say what you need to say. No one will come at you for saying anything negative about anyone ever. Like no one. This is all love. I think for me, what you said, yes, definitely right. I also think that you can't just show up after not being consistent. Like the music industry thrives on consistency. Being an artist, you thrive if you're consistent. I think some of the legacy acts we have believe that they have the social cachet or the musical cachet to just pop up whenever they want and get as many results as they can, not realizing that the music industry has moved forward and moved far ahead of you. And if you have not adapted in real time, you're going to show up behind. You know, like what we were saying earlier, you're going to show up with your stuff sounding a little bit old. The reverb is just you're still using techniques that are not connecting and would not gel well with like new music. So you get left behind. And sometimes I think you're fooled into thinking that it doesn't matter. It's the whole yes man conversation, right? It doesn't really matter. Like the music is the best. Sometimes I know artists are not necessarily trying to make it in the industry. They just want to, release their heart, because an artist is always going to want to release music. But I'm just speaking about the ones who are actively trying to keep careers going. Anyway, I thought that was an interesting little conversation I wanted to get your opinion on. But yeah, there's people who are doing it right and just staying consistent. Some of it, their consistency is because they're actually doing the right thing. Some of it, their consistency is because of nostalgia. That's a whole other conversation that I don't think we should get into now. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, what
are we doing?
Yeah, let's talk about the music that came out this week, Sam. What did you listen to?
I went to a couple of things. Went to a couple of songs. Of course, the BN release with Matthew White. Listen to that. It's called Vibrate. That was interesting. Again, part of his collaborations. Yeah, he's doing quite a bit. Mordecai Dex. I'm always interested to listen to Mordecai Dex music with Skoko. Two members of Heart, the band, released Extraordinary. It's a very, very Caribbean sound. So that was interesting. I wonder what Mordecai Dex is up to following his recent project. Ricky Gadariki, who is part of Wana Vocali, dropped a solo. It's called Poison. That was an interesting listen. Who else did I listen to? Who else did I go to? Kamushes, Iborian, McLean, three of the DJs who featured in the Rituals show, teamed up with Fadili Itulia with Native Frequencies. That was super, super fire. I enjoyed that. And a lot of another thing I realized is a lot of music sounds. Sometimes we obsess about frequencies and are the highs enough, bro? Once that thing is booming in the club, no one cares as long as the bass is hitting and there's transients.
At all, man. Nobody cares.
Yeah, they're tweaking 2 dB or at 10K, thinking you're doing something, man. They're in the club. Guys are feeling the vibe. So, shout out to that. The Oontz stuff is really going crazy. It does is. Angel, and Preon released that as well. The song is called Kipekele, extended version. I enjoyed that. VB released now. There's a lot of songs that are coming out, especially during this period, this Mandamanu music. So like there's quite a bit of that going on. Even some Oontz tracks were Mandamanu themed. For Mr. Frank White released Nakudungia. I'm always excited to see some for Mr. Frank White. And album art. His album arts are very thoughtful as well. I'd like to say that's really what I listen to, honestly.
I mean, I didn't listen to much more than you, because honestly, outside from that, from the songs that you've said, I would say I listened to Sikujui by 8th Street Gang. Shout out to them. I don't know if you mentioned Kila Wakati by Simon Vitulo, Taylor, and Ness Mburu. And then, Washa by J Strings, Kamande, and Klein and Pablo. And yeah, aside from the ones that you've mentioned, I think those are the songs that I listen to. I also want to shout out Wakadinali, because Wakadinali finally released their album Victim of Madness 2.0. It's 1 hour and 23 minutes long, so I'm not done listening to the whole thing. Like, it's very long. Sam knows about my history with long projects. I struggle. That's just the truth. But shout out to Wakadinali for releasing. But Sam, do you wanna introduce our song pick of the
Let's do that week? Jairus Mola released a 10 song project called Molarity. A couple of good songs on there, and yeah, I think I do want to sit down with it again and just like digest it a bit more. Israel Onyach was on there, Costa Ojwang, on there, Ras Amor, well, really from that school of music, and then Mary Tenya, Vanessa Kenye, and Madain Jama as some of the features that he had on there. But yeah, no, it's a decent sounding project. I think our pick is going to come from the introduction, the intro song, number 1 on the project, Erokamano, which is, it's a very, I mean, it's, if you listen to some of the features and that music, it kind of goes well together. But yeah, I think I do need to sit down with the project a little bit more. He is an artist who I have not really necessarily known as much, but it's a good introduction, I guess, from him. So the song we'll be playing today is Jairus Mola's Erokamano.
Mama, Papa, Anachuluna de. Mama, Papa, Anachuluna de. Inyakalaga no sechano, imaenda loma na weruwe. Jano ni maenda lopa na perwe. Umi andiko nuto, umi andiko nuwe. Monda panu kaka ero, monda panu kaka ero. Erokamano anakoyo nuku, Erokamano anakoyo nina. Woningi malamo medindalo, woningi malamo medundalo udagaminga. Erokamano anakoyo nuku. Chico kitinga mama, Chico kitinga mama, kitingo jato. Mi utinde benda donde bomo munda man pesa, chenga parugo nyakachie. Pange bende neni pira, kayo bende neni oya. Omiga diko
That was Erokamano by Jairus Mola. Yeah, man, it's a really good tune. And go listen to the album, man. Go listen, support KE music. We say that a lot, but we don't say it enough. Support KE music. Listen to your favorite artists. Have your playlist. Plug your friends. When they ask you, yo, did you listen to that new Drake? Say no. A new Costa Drang, though. And they ask you, have you heard Beyonce's album? Say no.
Well,
but did you hear Jairus' latest project? Plug KE music, man. Forget about the West.
You know what? Yes. Yes. I fully back this message. But on a serious note, and speaking on Kenyan related initiatives, I just want to give a huge shout out to the people who went out to the streets for Maandamano on Wednesday. It's so difficult, like being away from the country and just having to see all these images like on social media, and some of them are very distressing messages. Also, prayers up for Boniface Kariuki, who I guess it's been determined that he's brain dead, and that's crazy, man. Like, he just got shot for nothing, for no reason. Man was just there selling masks and he gets shot. What type of country are we living in? It makes no sense for us to be living in a country where the police are literally just shooting people indiscriminately first of all, he wasn't even expressing his right. Like, he was just out there. Like, he just happened to be out there, man. So I really do want to just, say a prayer for our country, because this is one of the darkest periods, like, outside of colonialism that's happened in Kenya. This might be up there with one of the darkest periods in our country. So I really hope we come out of the other side. Like, I don't know. The only way is for the people in power to be dethroned. So that's my favored outcome.
Favorite outcome for sure.
Yeah.
And I think a scary thought that happens is that, a scary thought that I had recently is, what if the government just gets used to Maandamano? Right. What if that happens, and that happens without change? That would be, I think, the worst outcome that we could possibly have out of all of this.
The scariest thing is, do you think Ruto sits down where he is and is like, wow, these people really hate me? Like if it's me, Sam, if I was Ruto, and that's a crazy thing. But if I was in his position, I'd be like, these people really hate me. I must be doing something wrong. Maybe I should change, or maybe I should just listen. There's no way I can just sit. But there's no way I can just no way I can just sit down and think that people. Amma, do you think there's just like a lot of yes men around him? I think
it's a combination of a whole different thing. But that's goes political. I think it's political aspirations. I think it's the gains that you're open to once you get into positions of power like that. I think it's the power that you have. And usually when you have a lot of that stuff, as well as the yes men around you, self-reflection, other people do the self-reflection for you. You really don't have, you delegate self-reflection to the people who are trying to, please you. And that's not just for the
wow, that's
president.
Messed up.
I think it's goes down to all levels in government, and even just out of government. Whenever you give anyone a little bit of power and they are not wise in handling it, it becomes a wildfire. And I think we're currently burning. So yeah, man, prayers to everyone who got injured out there.
For sure, man.
And people who, unfortunately came to the end of their lives. Yeah, man. Something has to change. Something has to change, and it will be...
Something has to change.
It's ongoing, though. Hey,
and
we'll get it.
It is, and we can't be scared. We just have to keep going.
See,
I don't... Sorry, go ahead.
No. Just seize. Yes. Sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I was just gonna say, I don't think I'm gonna end the podcast with the 3 C's, but as always, thank you guys so much for listening. I know it's a difficult time, but we're gonna get through it. And yeah, man, Sam, I guess we will reconvene
Reconvene.
and carry on this actually, you know what, this podcast, it's not like one podcast starts and one podcast ends. No, we're gonna carry on this conversation next podcast on episode 138.
All right.
All right.